Hi everyone, it's me Shufi. So today I've actually collaborated with Kelvin from Testa. So I had the opportunity to actually try out one of the lessons that he and his team have developed, which is now readily found on SLS Community Library. So there are several lessons there on badminton. So I'm going to I've used the net shot lesson today. So I'm going to share some of my learnings. So first of all, there are a lot of resources, very interesting videos included. So I've just made some rearrangement, tweaked the questions, tweaked the instructions, and that's about it. So for three things I'm going to share. First one is for free response questions. Sometimes it helps to scaffold their or structure the way they should be thinking. For example, in your own words, what is a net shot? So after watching the two videos above, they should have some rough idea. So I help structure it by telling them specifically to consider two important criteria. First, where is the skill executed? Secondly, where will the shuttle land in the opponent's court? So hopefully I'll get the responses that I'm looking for. All right. That's one. Secondly, is in the use of fill in the blank style of questions. So I've tried to use this a few times in my previous lessons. So what I thought is helpful is that sometimes, especially if the word is hard to spell or it is not a word, maybe it's a phrase, then perhaps including some possible options, just like MCQ, would be helpful. So like today, for example, this one you can see I've included two options for this blank, another two options for this blank. Okay, so and that will help them do better in this type of questions. All right. Lastly, which is I think the focus for today, is the use of prepopulate students response. Okay, so this is actually a type of free response question. So under free response, in your editing mode, you will be able to see the one box underneath the question portion whereby it says prepopulate students response. So over here, what it means is whatever you put up over there, whether it's a text or an image, it will be part of the student's response. So what this does is, or what this enables us to do is, you can insert the diagram, which is actually part of the original question, into the pre-populate student's response box right here. Okay, right here, the one below here. Okay, what this does is, the students will be able to see this diagram underneath their question, and if they double click the image, they can actually use the drawing tool to draw on this image itself. Yeah, and that's cool because now you can actually enact your GCA, your TGFU online. Yeah, you can do it online now. So that's really wonderful. All right, so give it a try. But before that, maybe I'll just quickly share with you uh, what the responses look like. All right. Hi, all right. So as promised, we're going to take a look at some of the responses of my students for this question. So when using the pre-populate students response function, make sure you give some instruction because it may be the first time they're doing this on SLS. So I've included here, right here, instructions. Okay, they need to double click the image, okay, underneath the question. Okay, so there will be an answer box there, and then from there there will be the drawing tool will pop up and they can draw the answers on it. So for me, I even go to the extent and tell them specifically to indicate clearly with an X or circle. All right, so if we scroll down, you can see most of the students are able to indicate that this should be the place, or rather this is the best place, okay, to win a point, okay, to attack and win a point. So you just quickly browse through, we would be able to see for those who have done, okay, more or less the same kind of answers. So for students who indicate a less accurate answer like this one, is too big an area, right? So why this area? Okay, it's not entirely wrong, but that's where we probably need to support the students by giving them a follow-up question. So for me, I have a 3 part B right here. So in 3 part B, okay, based on the answer above, they need to follow up and explain the reason why they choose that particular area to attack. So I would like to use a simple question, which is what makes you say that? Okay, so the suggested answer is the front court is now open, therefore, by placing the shuttle nearer to the net, forces the opponent to run fast to the front. And of course, the other dimension is that if you place it on the left side of the opponent, okay, and therefore you are forcing the opponent to use the backhand, and backhand generally usually is weaker for most players. Okay, so this could be another dimension that you want to look out for when reading out students' responses. Okay, so if I look through the students' responses right now, okay, most of the students will be able to justify and explain why place the shuttle nearer to the net. It's about not having enough time, about the long distance they have to move, and so on and so forth. Okay, so but very few of them actually mention about the backhand. So let's look at some of the answers. For example, this one. If we shoot it there, the opponent will require a longer time to reach it, and the opponent will have a lower chance of winning as the shuttle will be on his left side, making it harder for the opponent to shoot back. So I think this student have a rough idea that if it's on the weaker side, the left side, the backhand side, it is generally harder. So let's look at another answer maybe by this student. As my opponent is right-handed and he's standing all the way on the right, so even if he or she runs very fast, it will be hard to save the shuttle since the shuttle is on the left side. Alright. Maybe one more response over here. Okay, since my opponent is right-handed, she would have to do a backhand in order to hit the shuttle. Okay, so clearly you can see this student knows why she chose that side of the court to attack. Okay, so but if you just glance through, you will know that not many of them actually mention about the need for backhand. Maybe just a few. So like another student over here, since the opponent is a right-handed player, he would have to use the backhand and need to have more time to catch shuttle at that area. So generally, if I were to use the data gathered from this lesson, I may want to draw the students' attention to the fact that attacking the students' backhand side generally would be more advantageous in the following lesson. Yeah. So something for you all to consider, something for you all to experiment with. So that's all for today. Thank you.